Okay.
Hi, I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron, founder of Step by Step Dyslexia Solutions. Welcome to our first YouTube for 2020. And we're so excited for all that is going to happen this year, helping people with dyslexia. So our podcast and our YouTube channel are for people who are adults who either have dyslexic children and need some answers, or they are dyslexic themselves. And you want to hear success stories, or you want to share your own success story to encourage others. So we are a nonprofit organization. And today I have Lori Reynolds, who's a new friend of mine. And just over lunch yesterday, I learned she was dyslexic, and she was very willing to be on this YouTube channel and our podcast. And I want to invite her because her story is very interesting. And this story about her own dyslexia and the dyslexia of her daughter is going to have a different turn, because we're going to talk about health and the value of learning about how to bring your family the best health will also help with learning challenges. Her dyslexia for herself wasn't discovered until she was an adult, and the dyslexia of her daughter was never a priority because there were so many other health issues. So I want to welcome Lori, and she's going to tell you a little bit of her story. Hey, Lori.
Hello.
Welcome. Why don't you share a little bit about how your own discovery of your dyslexia as an adult, and how you really weren't impacted too much as in your school years because of your workarounds, because I'm sure there's a lot of adults out there now in that same situation, not even knowing they were dyslexic until they found out that that's what their child has.
Yeah, that was an interesting revelation for me. I had no idea that I was dyslexic. When I think back now, knowing that I'm dyslexic, and I look for those classical dyslexic markers, I see them in my education. But I did not discover my dyslexia until my daughter was diagnosed with it. And I was searching for a curriculum for her to help her with her dyslexia. And the opening curriculum was a dyslexia test that I failed. And I was shocked. So I took it again and I failed again. And that's how I found out I had dyslexia. I had no idea. So I was stunned by that. I was humiliated because I thought, oh, no wonder, right? She has problems. I'm having problems. No wonder I didn't see them. And so we had to find a new tutor, and we did.
So the interesting thing is with this phonics test, was it phonics, right? Sounding words out, or was it reading sentences, or was it reading unfamiliar words, nonsense words, we call them?
It was all of that. All of that was in there. The phonics sounding, or trying to sound out words I'd never seen before. That I was like a deer in the headlights. I could not. I don't have the skill set for that.
So what I think is real interesting is that you have an older daughter who's 3 years older than your younger. So you told me earlier, ages 27 and 24.
Mm-hmm.
So when a parent sees one child not struggling and then uses that as the benchmark for the next child, and you see the other child so different, and we love all of our children as they were the only ones, right?
Right.
But tell me a little bit about what the challenges were, how you approach those challenges, because I know you said they really were the health issues that took your attention.
Yeah, well, my older daughter just seemed to sail through school. She loved it, excelled at it. There were never any difficulties with her. And my younger daughter, she had difficulties right off the cuff. She was allergic to, I think, 15 different things. Milk, citrus, wheat, you name it, she was allergic to it. And so she had all these food related issues from birth, only to find out by the time she was about 9 months old that she had a severe allergy to peanuts. That of course you find these things out in ways that are sometimes terrifying when your kid has an anaphylactic reaction to peanut butter. But thankfully, she was okay. But we figured that out, and she had delayed speech. Um, she stuttered. Uh, so she just had a lot of problems early on. So dyslexia wasn't something that was on the list because there were so many other things that we were dealing with at the time, and navigating the peanut allergy in school 24 years ago when it wasn't that talked about and everybody brought homemade treats to the classroom was terrifying as a parent.
So I'm really excited because now your daughter has a successful career. Tell the
She
audience
does.
what she does.
Yeah, she's 24. She's a personal trainer, and she's doing really, really well at it. She's
And how's
excelling.
her self-esteem?
She's doing pretty good. All of her stuttering is completely gone. So I think she still thinks that she stutters sometimes, but she doesn't. So all that is gone. All of her allergies, she's grown out of them, with the exception of peanuts. She'll have that. That'll be a lifelong allergy for her. But she's doing really well.
So she eats really well, probably too. You've taught her how to eat and what
Yes,
things
she's very
to
healthy.
avoid. I'm going to share this publicly. I haven't shared it yet, but I am a cancer survivor. The end of 2021 was just really different for me. I was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in October. I had a hysterectomy in November. And in December, I had one chemo treatment and it knocked me out cold for 3 days really badly. And a whole week it took for me to get my energy back. So I've been doing a lot of studying about health and nutrition. And I thought I was pretty stress-free, but I didn't realize how many different things there are we can do to contribute for our health. And so I'm not going to get any more chemo treatments. I'm even wearing a new do right now. But the nutrition has such a big impact, not only on my life, but on the students that I tutor. I once did have I've had several health coaches on my podcast, and there were a lot of views because people are very concerned. So can you share some of the things, Lori, that were some of the first changes you made to your daughter's diet? Because dyslexia wasn't diagnosed yet, and you were tackling her health issues. But once those health issues were addressed, the dyslexia was it diagnosed later as she was in middle school, you said?
Yeah, and I would say late, probably late elementary school, like probably like 3rd or 4th grade, because there was some reading comprehension issues. I mean, she was reading by this point, obviously, but there were some issues. Yeah.
Well, and that's more encouraging for me to know, because when kids are diagnosed or they get the intervention early, they can be at grade level, because the statistics show if they're not at grade level reading by 4th grade, they are the kids who are at risk of dropping out of high school, going to prison. And we even have the suicide rate is up now because of COVID anyway. But the fact that she was diagnosed even as young as 4th grade, she got the help she needed.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk first about what kind of health changes you made in her diet that might help other parents that were easy? Because I know it's not easy when you're going to school and you want to be social and eat everything.
Yeah. Well, I think the beginning phase for us when she was younger was always like full of alarm, right? Because you're trying to eliminate everything, and you're trying to learn what's in every food that you buy, and you find yourself reading so many labels that you think your head's going to spin. And then realizing how many foods that you're going to be eliminating and what's not going to be able to be around in the house anymore because it's not safe. And then the things that she liked, some of those things she liked, she couldn't have those things. And so that was difficult because I had another child that wanted those things and could eat those things. And so that was always a bit of a challenge. So we had those as like a special snack when for my older daughter, when my younger daughter was taking a nap. we worked it out, right?
Mhm.
But we ate a lot of fruits and vegetables when she could have fruit, and we did tons of vegetables, all different kinds of ways, from raw to cooked to you name it. We ate it.
Did you do
And
juicing as well?
we didn't. Juicing wasn't as popular as it has become
Okay.
now. But no, we didn't do that. We didn't know a lot about that at the time. That was like 24 years ago.
Okay.
And so it was just a lot of raw vegetables was a lot of the things that we did lots of salads. My kids are still today, um, they eat a lot of produce.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And I know
Yeah.
the research shows eat around vegetables and then add the protein. I just had lunch of cottage cheese with flaxseed oil
Oh,
and
great.
mango. And mango slices to sweeten it up. And I just learned this yesterday that flaxseed, I used to have flaxseed on oatmeal, but now I put wheat germ and chia seeds in my oatmeal. And now I'm learning another use of flaxseed oil. We're watching these videos by Ty Bollinger, which talk about, how to eat. What are all the health
Right.
things we can do to fight cancer? Not
Mm,
realizing that how we are working with our kids now and feeding them in the environment, we want to really build healthy systems for them so they don't get cancer. But what about other health issues and their brain? I'm really concerned about the brain, that they're able to think logically and clearly, and they don't have tired brain. And that's where eating right really is important for all of our students. And I really want the parents of dyslexic students to take a look at that. What do you think about
yeah.
that?
It all helps, right? I mean, as any parent would know, I mean, if your kid is not getting enough sleep and eating a bunch
Sleep.
of sugar or really bad food, it just becomes a disaster pretty quickly, whether your kid has a learning challenge or not, right? So that's just true for all of us. So when we
Yes.
eliminated sugar, we eliminated high carb diet early on. Those things just weren't working for us.
And I know cutting out sugar is hard. Every month we have a special holiday, right?
Yeah.
Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Then we
Hmm.
have Valentine's Day coming up, and then we have
Right.
Easter. And we have always centered these holidays around special candied treats.
Right.
And man, it's a life change for all of us, even how we give treats and gifts to people.
Right.
I got a lot of candy gifts at Christmas, and I just opened them up and shared it with other people, barely having it myself. Um, so, I'm really excited. You are a realtor.
Yes.
And one of the things I shared with you was that I addressed how dyslexia is a trait of genius. And I want our dyslexic adults out there to know, take a look at what you're doing in life. And is there an aspect of genius of what you're doing? And have you tapped into special gifts and talents you have that other people don't have? So would you share with us about how you would manipulate shapes and stuff, and how you could see things that other people didn't see?
Yeah, that's a funny story. I don't know. I never really saw that as a gift or necessarily an ability, because I guess I just thought people think like I think. We were playing a game with a family member that was visiting. I can't remember the name of the game, but it had different shapes and colors,
Was it
and
Corkle?
it could have been. I can't remember. Anyway, there were all these pieces on the table, and we had a lot of company in the house at that time, and he and I sat down to play this game. Well, I was kind of intimidated to play with him because he's pretty smart. And so I thought, well, I'm probably going to lose. So we sit down and we lay all these pieces out, and we were supposed to organize them a certain way. And I forget even now what we were supposed to do, but I read the directions. I understood it. So I was just waiting for him to respond, to do it, to organize the pieces, and he was just staring at them on the table, and he's like, "I don't get it."
Uh-huh.
I'm like, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." I go, "Well, here, it's like this," and I just like put my hands all over the pieces, moved them all around. Like within 3 seconds, it was done. And he looked at me and he goes, "How'd you do that?" He goes, "You played this before?" And I said, "No." And I said, I saw it." He's like, "What?" And
Well,
so I think that's when I first realized, like, oh, see that. Like he had the same thing I had. He was looking at the same thing I'm looking at. He didn't see that.
it's very, I don't think it's Quarkle because Quarkle is 6 shapes, 6 colors. And you just have to have patterns. But what you're talking about, I'd like to talk to you later and find out what that was. But yeah, one thing I was sharing with, I've shared with our audience before that the 4 areas that dyslexic people thrive in is entrepreneurism. So here we have a realtor, and here we have her daughter as a personal trainer, right? And then architecture, engineering, and the music and the arts. So there's areas that don't require a degree. And if a person does require a degree, there's there's technical schools they can go to, but then there's accommodations they can get in college if they have an IEP, which is an individual education plan. So there's hope for everyone. And, dyslexia really is a trait of genius. I've shared with the audience too that Einstein, Walt Disney, Steven Spielberg, Steve Jobs, they all had dyslexia. And look at the gifts that they contributed to all of us. Real Leonardo da Vinci. So God made our brains very uniquely. When I speak, I also share that God gave us the brain parts to all work together. But dyslexic brains people are reading from the right side of the brain instead of the left. So we need to retrain their brains and let the left side of the brain be the language center. And we do that with my reading program. And I use classical music that plays in the left ear because it crosses to the right side of the brain. And that's a whole other story that's on my other videos. But let's go ahead and wrap this up. Are there any closing words of encouragement you want to give parents out there that have dyslexic children?
Oh, just don't be discouraged. There is so much more help today that's available than what was available to me. And this is not some death sentence. I think parents feel so discouraged when they find out something's wrong with their kid, or they realize, like me, there's something wrong with me too, right?
That's right.
You have so many other gifts and abilities that God's given you, that He uses to blend together to make you a whole person. And dyslexia, as you explained it to me, was a great encouragement to me to know that other very successful people are dyslexic. I never viewed myself as dyslexic because I never knew that I was. So, and now that I know that I am, I just embrace it. I just go for it. I know I can't leave the house without the GPS because my lefts are rights, my rights are lefts. I know this about me.
Well, you're not
It's
alone on
okay.
that.
Yeah, we have technology, right? So I'm all right. So we're all
And even
okay.
spelling, people can talk into their phone and it'll give them the correct spelling. There's a lot more tricks available now to people. But yeah, I know a lot of adults are still very shy about having dyslexia or reading challenges. And I just hope this encourages you not to be shy and seek help for your child if you're seeing those repetitive patterns in your children that you had. And know that, of course, they have their gifts and their talents, and you want them to realize their full potential. So we provide help and very affordable alternative to what the schools are offering. You can reach out to me. I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron, and my guest today was Lori Reynolds, and she's there in San Diego. If you need a realtor, how can they reach you down there, Lori?
We have a website. It's coastalridge.net.
Okay, if you need some commercial or individual real estate help in San Diego, I'm going to close with you now. And we are a nonprofit organization. If what we have shared has inspired you and you'd like to make a donation to keep our podcast and YouTube channel continuing, would you please like this also and share this with someone else who needs to hear what we're saying? Visit our website at dyslexia-solutions.com and make your donation today. Thanks so much for tuning in, and may God bless you. Have a happy new year.
Bye.